Hey, boys and girls. So, you remember at the end of part 10, if you've been with me, that we were having a small problem. So I'm going to fix that first. And what the Tinkercad isn't telling you is that you have to play around with grouping and then ungrouping your objects and then aligning them and then ungrouping them again. You got to kind of go back and forth. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to group uh, this tower and let's see, it's going around the cone too. So I'm going to group that tower, the wall, and this tower. Okay, I'm going to group them just for a minute. And now I'm going to align all of that with this wall. Now I'm going to click the Align tool, and I'm going to click on this one, the one we want. There, can you see what that did? Now I'm just going to, since the cone doesn't seem like it was part of that deal, we just have to align now that whole object with the cone. So I'm going to pick the cone, and I'm going to align those two things, and I want to do it in a way that it's centered on, let's see, basically, right there, no. Okay, let me think about that, hang on. So we want to actually probably just nudge this cone over a little bit, right there. Let's make sure that that's like where we want it. That looks good to me, actually. That looks really good. So now remember that we have right now, I'm going to actually group that together with all the rest of this stuff. Let's group it all together. Now, the only thing that isn't grouped right now is this wall over here. Okay, so that's fine because we're going to want to look what the instructions are. Let's start in part 11 now. It says copy and align the next wall. So we're going to, step one, copy and paste the wall. So we can use the one that isn't grouped right now with the rest of everything. Remember, this thing over here, this wall, and these two towers, you see the blue outline around all of it. That wall and those two towers are grouped. They're also aligned and they're grouped. So we want to leave those alone. Let's pick this wall now, and let's just copy it up in the left, right, where my mouse is, and paste. Now we have another one. Let's drag it over into the hint over here, right about there. But as we've experienced before, this program sometimes isn't perfect about how these get aligned. So now remember that we want the whole thing to move and now to align to this new wall that's highlighted right now. So we want to, before we get started, we want to select these two towers in this wall and the wall that we copied. And we want to group all that together. And now we want to align all of that with our new wall. So hold down Shift and click that, and now click Align. And remember which one we want to pick. Do you guys remember? We want to pick this one right here. There, now let's take a look around our object. No, that's not perfect yet, is it? That is still not perfect, you know? Let's go back. Something didn't go right there. Let's move our wall a little bit more. Oh, let's see, it's still grouped. Okay, so let's ungroup those. Now, this wall should be separate from that wall right there. Oh, it's still part of all that. Ungroup. Let's ungroup that. Now, this wall is separate. Let's move it a little bit more like right there. And let's select it together with the towers and the other wall. Okay, so remember, ungroup only ungroups the very last thing you group together. So when I click ungroup, it disconnected this wall from all the other towers and the other two walls, but those are still all grouped together. Remember? So the ones I'm looking at here, this tower, this wall, and this tower are all grouped together still. The very last thing I grouped was the wall on the other side. And since I clicked ungroup, now that's the only wall that isn't connected. So I'm moving it around just a little bit, getting it set up for an alignment. Let's try it again. Let's try this alignment again. And let's select the wall. And we want to basically align it with this the two towers over there and the two walls. So let's align it. And I'm looking for this one right here, right? This one. Boom. Now let's take a look at all of our corners. They're still looking real smooth, right? Perfect. Look at all those corners. So stop the video, go back, play it again if you need to, and make sure you get those corners just right, because that's looking really good. Okay? So now let's make sure we do all these. It says line up the end of the wall. We did that. Use the align tool. We did that. Continue to the next step. So if you're getting confused through this part, it's because the program isn't explaining to you that sometimes you have to ungroup and then regroup all your items together. Sometimes you have to ungroup to copy and paste just a part of it. Sometimes you have to ungroup so that you can actually go forward with the alignment. So again, if you're getting confused to this part, replay the last video and this one and pause it and do exactly what I'm showing you. You'll be able to get it. Hopefully it's making sense. All right, and I'll see you in part 12 in the next video.